majority. For Republicans, they go up to 238. Should that happen? That's the range of possibilities.
So best case scenario for Democrats then is even if young people turn out. If Republicans turn out, they've got a pretty commanding lead there. What's motivating voters here in the final days?
Well, let me show you this. The party's closing arguments are really between democracy and economy. The Democrats arguing there's threats to democracy. The Republicans saying focus on the economy because folks think it's bad. So look at this. We ask people, what concerns you more? Having a functioning democracy, having a strong economy. And it's pretty split.
Yeah.
But look at the vote splits on this, Tony. When you see the folks who prioritize functioning democracy, they're voting for Democrats. That's their message. Folks who prioritize a strong economy, they're voting Republican. That's theirs.
Yeah. Although, of course, we would hope, and you didn't give.
This is such a funny dichotomy that it does not need to exist. Like, what do you mean, folks who prioritize a functioning democracy? Like, I get that Republicans are trying to fucking undermine, like, the last vestige of a dying American liberal capitalist democracy, right? By making it so that it's, like, pretty much illegal to vote as, like, a poor person, as a Democrat, you know? But it's just such a weird, like, oh, man, people are really voting for the economy. That's why they're voting for the Republicans. Like, I hate that we have just ceded so much ground. When like 90% of the reason that Democrats in their first term have a completely fucked economy is because of the doings of the prior 2 years. This happened with Obama. It's happening with Biden. It's always the same. Republicans come in, okay? They literally come in. They get the keys to a sweet, nice, mint condition, working fucking Honda Civic, and they beat it to the goddamn ground, and then they pass it off. They beat it so hard that eventually people are like, okay, fuck this. Like, we need someone else to drive this goddamn car. And then they give it to the Democrats, and the Democrats are now left with this fucking Honda Civic that is busted as fuck, and they spent 2 years trying to fix it. And during that process, there's literally so much struggle as a consequence of that. People think the economy just turns like this on a dime. It's so stupid. And then they barely fix it by the end of the fucking 8-year term. But throughout that entire time, people are like, dude, look at the Democrats, man. Look at how bad they are. This metaphor might be falling apart. No, what's falling apart is the fucking Honda Civic. It's gone. It's done. Now, of course, Democrats aren't great on the economy either. They're just better than the Republicans are. That's it. Like, I'm not in any meaningful sense of the word saying that Democrats are good, okay? Their recovery is also done within a capitalist framework. Their recovery also is dog shit. Their recovery efforts are also still very much anti-labor, anti-worker, anti-poor. And then you fucking turn it, and then you turn it over to the Republicans to beat and bully the fucking economy to the ground further. For the record, the reason why I said Democrats are better than Republicans is because they at least operate within the framework of capitalism. Republicans don't. Republicans operate on the framework of just like as much tax cuts as we can, as much deregulation as we can. At least Democrat, like if we're going to talk about genuine austerity and genuine dick riders for the fucking deficit, it's not the Republicans. They love complaining about the deficit all over and over and over again. But you know who the actual fucking dick riders for the deficit are? The budget hawks. They're the fucking Democrats. They're stupid as fuck for doing that, by the way. But they are literally the actual deficit dogs. I mean, Nancy Pelosi herself passed PAYGO. There was no need to do that. Why would you cuck your own entire fucking... Why would you cuck your own possible policy future if you ever get, the reins of Congress once again, and you just built in an idea that it needs to fucking pay for itself. Every piece of legislation that Democrats are going to pass, which has to do deficit spending, can't do deficit spending now. That's crazy. It's just a way to literally make sure that you have neutralized any initiative you could ever push for. You are doing IMF-style neoliberal austerity to your own fucking countrymen, okay? Meanwhile, not a single Republican has ever cared about the deficit when they're in positions of power, and Americans are too stupid to recognize that the deficit is completely fucking meaningless, especially when it comes to tax cuts for the wealthy. Every American rises or dies for the estate tax. Every American rises or dies for the tax cut for the wealthy. The estate tax is not touching you, okay? It's never going to touch you. You're poor. You're broke. Your father is broke. Your mother is broke in comparison to people who actually do get hit with the estate tax. You will never touch it. You're too broke. But because you're brain broken by fucking capitalist agitated propaganda, that you have been told this lie. You think it's actually coming for you. You think the government's going to take your fucking busted ass Honda Civic that your mom passed down to you. You fucking idiot. That's not going to happen. This idea that like Republicans are better on the economy has been built into our brains now because they usually are reigning control over an economy that is doing better because of 4 to 8 years of Democrats doing their very best to balance the budget, I guess. Not even balance the budget, but to just like fix it as best as they can. One of the funniest things that the Republicans did under Donald Trump was when they pushed for tax cuts for the wealthy and corporations. They lowered the corporate tax rate. They lowered the top marginal tax rate, right? They did that. Those were permanent. You know what wasn't permanent? The middle class taxes. Middle class tax cuts have already gone back up, you fucking dumbasses. It's literally built into the way that they operate. They openly show their resentment for the middle class or the working class in general all the time. Yeah. I bet you didn't know that, did you? A lot of your dumb fucking Republican friends don't even realize that they're paying literally Obama-era taxes again. You know who's not paying Obama-era taxes? Me. Well, I'm in California, so I'm a little bit different. I'm paying a lot more taxes than anyone else. But that's the truth. It's the truth. Anyway, Biden will ask Congress to consider tax penalties and other restrictions on gas and oil companies that either don't lower prices or provide their record profits for the American people per the White House. That's awesome. That is sexy as fuck. Love that. Oh my God. That gets my dick hard. I love that. What is this? The contrast between Bernie Sanders' politics and the trajectory of stars of the Bernie Twitter is really something. If you don't think it's funny that the movie Black Adam drove a middle-aged man who writes in internet baby talk around the bend enough to brain Nancy Pelosi's crooked husband with a hammer, I just can't relate to you. We need to be talking more about this assassination attempt. Agreed. We should be talking, thinking, and most importantly, posting about how funny it is. I mean, it is funny. It's funny as fuck. At a certain point, you have to realize, like, Maddie, that the world is so deeply fucked, okay? So all you can do is laugh. What are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to do? Especially because, like, nobody died, you know what I mean? You're laughing at how tragic our circumstances are, okay? That, like, every time... First of all, we rarely ever get, like, attempted political assassinations, okay? We rarely ever get attempted political assassinations here in America. It's always, like, dumb motherfuckers who, like, think, you know, they're the girl that said no to them or their coworker that, like, made fun of them is the reason for why they're feeling so much pain and struggle. And then they just, like, unleash upon their parents, their moms and dads or random girls in their vicinity, random women in their vicinity. You know what I mean? Like it's so fucked up. So like political assassinations, even attempted ones, are unique. Okay? But of course, in America, it still has to happen in the most American way possible. Like the Shinzo Abe one is literally, it was like calculated. There was a specific reason for it. It was probably the most successful political assassination of our lifetimes, where like Japanese citizens unironically turned on Shinzo Abe. I've never actually seen anything like it, straight up. They literally turned on Shinzo Abe. They were like, this incel guy, this military guy, we are so on board with him. The overwhelming majority of the Japanese population, well, not overwhelming, but the majority of the Japanese population looked at a guy who made a fucking Fallout 3 style blunderbuss in his home and assassinated Shinzo Abe and said, that guy was right to do that. We don't like that Shinzo Abe was actually, had ties to this fucking psycho Korean cult church. You know? And we certainly do not appreciate that the Japanese government is using our tax dollars to fucking fund a state-sponsored funeral. They said that. Shinzo Abe's killer made no manifesto, no final post. He just went and did it, and people understood him through collective psychic osmosis. Now that happened. In America, on the other hand, you got a dumb baby-brained idiot who's like angry at like white men not having enough power or whatever. So he goes and like tries to kill Nancy Pelosi. Like that's gonna fucking change anything. And fails to do so and can't even kill an 84-year-old man. I'm sorry, I'm going to laugh at that. If you're a fucking 42-year-old fail son who spends every fucking waking moment on the internet documenting every idiotic thought he's ever had to an audience of like 4 other equally brain-broken Nazi dickheads, and then you fail to kill an 84-year-old man, I'm sorry, that's such a fucking L. That is the biggest fucking L, dude. And the funniest part about this shit is always like, you go out and you put yourself out there and you fucking practice what you preach and you literally are like, I'm going to kill fucking Nancy Pelosi. You do that. Every other person that was in your same Discord circles, in your same forums, is going to turn around and go, oh, dude, that guy was a gay idiot, actually. He's not one of us. Like, that's what happens every time. Stop doing it. Okay? They literally did that with the fucking, they even did that with the FBI guy. They immediately, you could literally be like, I wrote a manifesto perfectly detailing exactly what my motivations are. You could be screaming what your motivations are, and every single dumb motherfucker that was talking to you even last week that is exactly like you, that believes in the exact same things to this day, will turn around and be like, nah, that guy, he was gay. He was so gay, it's a psyop. It's a homosexual psyop, dude. He was actually a gay pedophile and very different than me. So if you are in one of those circles, if you're in here as a fucking hate watcher, if you're like, excited at the opportunity of like coming in and owning me or whatever, because like whatever fucking forum that you came from has geared you towards hating on me, remember, you do some shit like that, everyone's going to turn around and be like, dude, you're such a fucking gay loser. You're wrong. Actually, you're not one of us. Now, the hilarious part is that they're basically trying to fucking say that this guy wasn't some right-wing loser. Okay? Which is pretty funny because he 100% was, and he openly wrote about it nonstop because as we all know, right-wing losers can't shut the fuck up. I was told he had a pride flag and BLM sign. No, that's not true at all. Brother, they're lying to you. They're lying to you. Okay? I am geared to hate you. You are. They're lying to you. He might have been gay, but that doesn't change the reality. I don't know if he was actually gay or not. He was definitely a cuck, though. But, like, you're so fucking dumb if you think that this guy was hiding any of his motivations. He's too stupid to do so. He wasn't killed. No, he's still alive. We're going to talk about he openly stated his motivation, guys. Not a hate watcher, just don't want one side. Yeah, well, here, I'll give you the side of the truth, okay? This guy, in the early Berkeley days, was like hanging out with a bunch of fucking nudists. A lot of these hippies are reactionary. What that means is they're like, usually, they're just contrarian. They're like, oh, fuck the government, man. But like, they don't have any sort of consistently held principled beliefs, okay? So those contrarians, especially granola hippies, the ones that are like also anti-vaxxer and like believe in like holistic or believe in like don't believe in modern medicine, shit like that. A lot of those guys have a tendency to turn on a dime and immediately become like weird psychotic right-wingers. That happened to this guy back in the fucking day. Okay, he used to make hemp bracelets and you know, lived in a fucking house full of like nudists and shit. All right. But very clearly, around the era of Gamergate, luckily because he can't shut the fuck up, he wrote about all of his opinions extensively, including what radicalized him. During the Gamergate era, he got, quote-unquote, red-pilled, like many of you in this community, as a matter of fact, who luckily have, you know, changed their minds. He got red-pilled and then fell deeper and deeper into the rabbit hole, becoming super radicalized during the QAnon, during the highest stage of QAnon. Okay? That is the reason why he fucking ran around and tried to kill Nancy Pelosi. I am not a centrist. I am far right. Okay, well, you know, so yeah, he was a loser just like you. But I'm telling you right now, you don't have to be a fucking loser. Okay? You can change your mind. You can recognize that like a lot of the circles that you engage in are basically just fucking filling your brain with dumb bullshit. Okay? Stop being a loser today with this one simple trick. Stop going to the fucking same Discord servers. Stop going to the same fucking forums where they're just basically shoving the same dumbass propaganda that your stupid fucking grandparents believe on Facebook. It's literally repackaging the exact same propaganda that your dumbass grandparents believe in. It's not disruptive. It's not cool. It's not unique. Is just the same dumb bullshit, and you're motivated to believe in it because you grew up in that bullshit. I used to be one of these losers who watched those TYT crying compilations. Thanks for dragging me out, Hasan. No problem. Anyway. So there was a lot of, let's look at the right-wing conspiracies because I'm not done with it. Immediately, one of the things that they did was, despite the fact that this guy straight up fucking was like, I am trying to find Nancy Pelosi and kill Nancy Pelosi, okay? He said it. And he had zip ties with him as well. Apparently, he was trying to kill Nancy Pelosi, right? That was his goal. This guy who has talked about like anti-Semitic conspiracy theories on his blog, talked about his radicalization on his blog. He talked about how Black Adam was too woke or whatever the fuck. Okay? Sorry, he didn't want to kill her. He wanted to just kneecap her. Regardless. Okay? He's looking for Nancy Pelosi. He openly states it. He's a right-winger. He's a right-wing QAnon believer who is out of his fucking mind. He finds Nancy Pelosi's home address. He goes there. She's not there. Okay? He fails to kill Paul Pelosi, who calls 911. And then cops come in and they basically watch this 42-year-old groiper, which is the saddest thing you can be, literally just 42 years old talking like a baby on the internet with other fucking 42-year-olds. Jesus Christ, what a loser. Anyway, fails to kill 84-year-old Paul Pelosi, okay? Fractures his skull with a hammer. Cops watch this happen. They arrest his ass. And Republicans, conspiracy theorists immediately were like, oh, no, dog, that's not our guy. Nancy Pelosi's husband is gay, actually. The guy basically fucking said everything. He openly stated what his motivation was. He has openly stated his radicalization journey. And it is wild. It is fucking wild that people are still like, nah, don't look at any of the stuff he wrote, actually. That's a psyop. He's actually gay. He was gay with Paul Pelosi. Wait, that's what they're saying? I thought the gay thing was just a joke? No, unironically, a fuckload of people looked at a situation that was super black and white, super clear cut, you know? It's an open and shut case. The easiest one that you can arrive at. He was too stupid to hide his motivations. He just very openly thought he was going to be considered a fucking hero. Now, it wasn't just the regular old right-wingers like Charlie Kirk and whatnot. Elon Musk also used a conspiracy website called the Santa Monica Observer that, you know, anyone with more than 3.5 brain cells would recognize as like a psychotic, non-reputable source of information. And responded to Hillary Clinton stating, you know, there's actually some credible evidence to the whole Paul Pelosi and this guy were gay together idea. Okay? And then everybody owned him immediately because he is now the chief twit, as he's called himself. Here, where is that? Does anyone have the Elon Musk tweet? He straight up replied to Hillary Clinton with it. Why did you just post, why am I still sad? Why did you just send me that? I know he deleted it, but there's a screenshot of it. Okay, here it is. Here. 3 days into his purchase of Twitter, chief twit Elon Musk has already started promoting QAnon-level conspiracy theories. Today, he tried to blame the far-right assassination attempt on Nancy Pelosi and the assault of her husband on a secret gay lover. Here is Hillary Clinton saying the Republican Party and its mouthpieces now regularly spread hate and deranged conspiracy theories. It is shocking, but not surprising the violence is the result. As citizens, we must hold them accountable for their words and the actions that follow. Elon Musk goes, there's a tiny bit of possibility that there might be more to the story than meets the eye. The story is, this is the article. As SF's gay bars closed at 2 a.m., 2 gay men met in a bar and went home together. Happens all the time, except one of the two men was married to the House Speaker, Nancy Pelosi. I might disappear for telling you the truth. If you do, you'll all know why. If I do, you'll all know why. But here's what really happened this morning in San Francisco. This is the most Facebook article you could arrive at. And this dumb motherfucker who now controls the public town square, Twitter, bought it for $44 billion, literally posted it and kept it up for a while. Okay? And then he got owned, so he quietly deleted it. Then the New York Times wrote an article about it saying Elon Musk in a tweet shares link from site known to publish false news. Some of the news that site had published stated that Hillary Clinton actually died on 9/11. By the way, the website that Elon Musk posted under Hillary Clinton's Twitter is a website that was a Hillary Clinton truther that claims that Hillary Clinton there's a replacement Hillary Clinton because Hillary Clinton had died on 9/11. At the 9/11 memorial. Remember? When she was like sick or had like a seizure or some shit? Anyway. So, which by the way, I do want to believe that. It's pretty funny. So, Elon Musk goes, this is fake. I did not tweet a link to the New York Times. Okay? Epically owned. Okay? Epically owned. 634,000 likes. New York Times is epically owned, okay? He is so funny, so much goofs, so many gaffes, okay? Epic memes are on fire, okay? If you want to hear fucking rehashed 9gag memes, unironically, Elon Musk is your go-to one-stop shop. So glad that he paid $44 billion so he could do this epic ownage. I don't know what else to say other than, like, this tweet itself is pretty funny. Remembering this handy chart today. Ted Cruz is funny but doesn't want to be funny. Elon Musk wants to be funny and is not funny. Elon Musk can't be funny because he wants to be so bad. He wants to be perceived as funny so desperately, so he is physically incapable of being funny. So you're so ableist, Sweaty. He's literally autistic. He can't help but be cringe. Dude, I know so many funny ass autistic posters, dude. First of all, we're on Twitter, okay? Like half the fucking posters have a litany of mental illnesses, a charcuterie plate of mentally ill people or different mental illnesses, okay? Elon Musk is not one of those people. But the problem is he can't even be like he can't even be funny through observation. Like we can't even observe him being funny because he's trying. Like he's hit the pocket, basically the fucking sweet spot, right? Where he is trying so hard to be perceived as funny that it's impossible for him to be funny. Do you understand? Like if he wasn't trying so hard to be funny, there could be moments where we like laugh at him instead of with him, right? But because he's so incredibly desperate to be perceived as funny, that there is never a moment where he actually is funny enough to even laugh at. Okay? Anyway, maybe if he was humping stools, but he can't even do that. Okay, so Elon's defenders are like, Elon is a genius and that's why he's wealthy. And also, Elon has a bad brain and you shouldn't make fun of him for not being funny. Yeah. So, we talked about Elon Musk's involvement in this process and like how he defended himself. And instead of taking accountability, which he never was going to regardless, he decided, he decided to just like epically own the New York Times. Here's more information. I don't know what the hell happened at Nancy Pelosi's house, and I suspect none of us will ever know for sure. This is the worst crop job I've ever seen, by the way. Ted Cruz, holy fuck. Knows how to use the website when it's looking at porn-a-rooney on 9/11. Doesn't know how to use the website when it's cropping a fucking tweet. Like, just screenshot it normal, you fucking idiot. Jesus Christ. But I do know that trying to paint a hippie nudist from Berkeley as some kind of militant right-winger is absurd and will always be absurd. Dude, being that this is San Francisco, it seems perfectly plausible that some drugged-out nutcase broke into their home. Trying to turn this San Francisco crime story into an indictment of Republicans is what's implausible and ridiculous. The hilarious part about this is that this guy was like a hippie nudist at a time when Donald Trump was voting Democrat. So clearly, people have the capacity to change their minds, right? Like, you can hyper-focus on what he was doing 20 years ago, but let's be real. You're also avoiding straight up looking at what he wrote the day before he tried to assassinate Nancy Pelosi. Hello? He was trying to assassinate Nancy Pelosi. Why would he be a fucking nudist leftist going, I'm angry at immigration, I'm angry at the vaccines, and I'm a leftist that wants to assassinate Nancy Pelosi? What the fuck? How do you not recognize that this whole like blue-haired SJW narrative doesn't work anymore? Because American politics is psychotic, okay? It is a litany of inconsistencies in a sea of contradictions, okay? That's why you hear weirdo Republican QAnon anti-vaxxer motherfuckers go, I hate big corporations, I hate big pharma. Hating big pharma is supposed to be an anti-capitalist and leftist position. That's not the point anymore. These motherfuckers have adopted it. Okay? They have co-opted anti-corporate sentiment into their weirdly right-wing and pro-deregulation attitude. Anyway, so it's wild to avoid that part. Like, it's wild to avoid him actually saying things in the moment. Like, motherfuckers could be like, I am casting my vote for Donald Trump in this mail-in ballot right now. And then after that, I am going to go and do a Republican assassination on Nancy Pelosi. And these dudes will still be like, no, hold on now. One time, he actually stopped someone from saying the N-word in 1987. Classic SJW, dog. Classic open and shut case. We got him, boys. We got him. That's a liberal, dude. And it's crazy. Like, at least Ben Shabibo isn't doing this, but instead doing the whole, like, it doesn't matter what his fucking point of view is politically. Leftists do political assassinations all the time, right? It's also insane that, like, Ted Cruz retweeted this. Like, that's crazy, dog. You're a sitting senator, you know? That's mind-boggling to me, okay?
Democrats
Anyway, instead of looking at Ben Shapiro's tweets, let's look at...
are also fighting mad over Elon Musk. And so they are using this latest incident with Paul Pelosi as evidence that Elon Musk is an irresponsible and terrible person. So Elon Musk tweeted out a story suggesting strange details with regard to the Paul Pelosi attack. The Washington Post says Elon Musk and a wide range of right-wing personalities cobbled together misreporting, innuendo, and outright falsehoods to amplify misinformation about last week's violent assault on Paul Pelosi to their millions of online followers. A forum devoted to former White House advisor Stephen K. Bannon's right-wing radio show alerted its 78,000 subscribers to, quote, very strange new details on Paul Pelosi attack. Roger Stone, longtime political consigliere to former President Donald Trump, took to the fast-growing messaging app Telegram to call the assault an alleged attack, telling his followers a stench surrounding mainstream reporting about the Friday break-in that left Pelosi hospitalized with a skull fracture and other serious injuries existed. The skepticism didn't stay in the right-wing echo chamber. He wrote on Sunday morning, quote, there is a tiny possibility there might be more to this story than meets the eye.
You best believe this was a Republican, they would immediately blame it on a leftist pipeline. Bro, Ben Shapiro multiple times has, like, talked about Barack Obama and his anti-cop rhetoric as, like, not the real reason, but, like, kind of the reason. If he wanted to say it, he would say it, as to why, like, those fucking cops got murked in Dallas. Okay? Like, he always holds that, like, Barack Obama, who said that Black Lives Matter protesters in Ferguson were out of pocket and they were thugs. That president, okay, Barack Obama, was actually so anti-cop that he was telling, Black Lives Matter people to go out and shoot cops in Ben Shapiro's world. Nuts.
He pointed his 112 million followers to a sensationalist account of the episode published by a site known for spreading right-wing misinformation before deleting the tweet several hours later. The rush to sow doubt about the assault on Pelosi's husband illustrates how aggressively influential figures on the right are seeking to dissuade the public from believing facts about the violence, seizing on the event to promote conspiracy theories and provoke distrust. Okay, so it is worth noting here that people should not be promoting stories that do not have proper backing to them. Obviously. That's why I opened the show by discussing all of the questions that people seem to have about the Paul Pelosi attack and talking about...
One of the funniest things is, like, Ben Shapiro routinely comes across as, like, more reasonable than all these other fucking psychos because he knows how to operate the space well. He knows where to push and where to pull. So he'll routinely fucking concede when things go way too out of pocket. Now, he already has a bunch of other dogs that work under him to do the psychotic conspiracy shit, Matt Walsh being one of them. The fucking other dude that I debated that I can't remember the name of now. What is it? Michael, the fucking Italian one. Shit. Michael Knowles. Thank you. And then Clandis Owens, obviously. Like, those are his mouthpieces that will push for more radical perspectives. But he can always stand comfortably afar at an arm's length to say, hey, I can tell you when things go too far.
About what the police has said. And it seems to me that the police account is significantly more evidenced at this point than many of the theories about the attack on Paul Pelosi. We talked about the fact that people were worrying about the glass breaking outward. When you throw a hammer against plexiglass, it will tend to break outward, not inward in many cases. There are people who were suggesting there's a third person. How did a third person get there? Why were they admitting somebody? Where was this person trying to stop it? There was no third person. It was misreporting by CBS.
By the way, Ben Shapiro is like actually currently addressing the fake news that's being promoted. Remember, but also that's Ben Shapiro's crony. Is Ben Shapiro's crony Matt Walsh going to be addressed here? No. He'll debunk the fucking obvious inaccuracies in the reporting. Did you address the 911 call? Wait, what? Address what? That he was like speaking in code because like he knew that there was someone in his house and he kept the fucking and he kept the phone going. What?
PBS News. There was the 911 phone call and the dispatch operator telling the police what was happening and said that Paul Pelosi had said there's a guy here named David and he's a friend. And so people were interpreting that as, oh, he's a friend. Okay.
No. He was literally speaking in code to make it seem as though he wasn't fucking like to survive, which worked, by the way. And cops literally said that. Cops said that, thank God Mr. Pelosi was speaking in fucking code, and thank God the dispatcher immediately understood what was going on and actually sent a unit there. Oh, God.
Yeah. Okay. Or it's possible and theoretically, believable that Paul Pelosi had a crazy person in front of him and was trying to calm the guy down while simultaneously on the phone with 911, not letting the crazy guy know that he was on the phone with 911. Okay, fine. All of that to the good. The reason, but this is being used now as an excuse for Elon Musk is obviously very bad because he tweeted out unverified information about the Paul Pelosi attack. So a couple of things ought to be said about all this. One, the truth became fairly quickly evident, and Musk deleted his tweet, which suggests that the solution was not to ban the tweet in the first place. The solution was to allow people to critique the tweet, because then Musk removed the tweet. So people on the left are using this as an example of, we must ban information. We must make sure there is no counter narrative that gets out there. But the thing is this. Once
Okay. Functionally, what Elon Musk did was basically the same as like banning the tweet. The difference, of course, is that he did it willingly, okay? He deleted the tweet willingly. Banning is done for people who are not doing it, even after they've been corrected. People who personally, deliberately, and willingly spread misinformation. Not only that, but also like Twitter literally gives you the opportunity to delete the fucking tweet. It's so dumb. That's what you do with people who won't fucking functionally delete the tweet themselves. You force them. What the fuck? That's the purpose behind banning. By the way, Elon literally did that because he wanted to, not get so fucking incredibly owned. That's why he did that. He self-canceled, I guess.
Information that was bad was put out there. It was hit so hard that Musk took it down, which is theoretically the way that free speech is supposed to work. You say something dumb, everybody critiques you, and then you retract the dumb thing that you said. What the left would like to do is essentially pre-clear all speech. So you shouldn't ask the questions in the first place. Now, when you do that, you know what you end up with? You end up with people asking more questions. When you say, you're not allowed to post this story, because if you post this story, we'll shut down your account. What people tend to do is they tend to believe, well, then I'm not going to believe you because you're attempting to censor. You're attempting to prevent information from being disseminated. The best answer to bad and dumb speech is, in fact, when it comes to fora like Twitter, more speech. But this is not the left's take.
That's
the left's
so
take
dumb.
is that they should be essentially policing what you can and cannot.
He's literally admitting that the ultimate good thing is to delete the tweet. You can't say that. Why didn't you keep up the tweet then? It's just speech. Why didn't you just keep the tweet up? Like, obviously enough people addressed it, so he's just eliminating speech. He shouldn't have done that then. It's been addressed already.
Not say. And here's the problem. All the people who maybe correctly were saying that Elon Musk was putting out a bad story yesterday, all of those same people were perfectly fine with the media for years putting out bad information about COVID, putting out false information about a wide variety of topics. Totally fine with all that stuff.
What?
All of that propagandistic nonsense, that could go out there. But Elon Musk puts out a tweet about a link that he shouldn't have put out. And this is evidence that free speech is no longer operative. So, for example, you have an MSNBC guest named Suzanne Nossel who's raising alarm about free speech on Twitter because if we allow people to say things, then you never know. Free speech might be quashed by people saying things.
To a social media platform that, as Elon says, is trying to create an environment for public discourse, a place where people of different ideological persuasions can come together and can reason. In order to do that, you need to create some parameters. We've learned that. Speech in Twitter is...
Yeah, no, that's true. Here you have a person who was like correctly talking about how in order to foster speech, you need to sometimes set boundaries. Here, I'll use a really dumb example, okay? For example, let's say you're at an auditorium, Ben Shapiro. Let's say you're addressing the Young American Foundation, and people come in and take advantage of the logistics of the situation and steal the microphone from you and start yelling into the microphone, right? Or they yell fire in the crowded theater. There needs to be parameters established, and luckily there are parameters established, because then you can actually foster good conversation. So technically, what she is saying is completely correct. If you set boundaries, how is it still free speech? Brother, there is no such thing as speech without any boundaries. You still can't do that in the United States of America, which has the most expansive freedoms. You can't do that.
Is not the same as a town square. It's algorithmically driven. We've seen that falsehoods travel faster than the truth on Twitter, that polarization can be stoked, that it's a weaponization of human nature. And that can be for good or for ill. We can celebrate something and we can go down a very dark path if that's where our nature draws us to. The algorithms fuel and supercharge that. And so I don't think the answer is a First Amendment approach, trying to adopt the constraints on government to a private platform like Twitter.
It's weaponizing human nature to allow people to say the things that they want to say. It is not weaponizing human nature to give outsized power to a coterie of left-wing elites who will tell you what you can say. That, of course, we can trust them. We can trust them because they definitely will not quash information that is not to their political liking. They'll probably just promote true narratives, like the narrative they've been promoting nonstop for days now, that every Republican is responsible for a nut job hitting Paul Pelosi with a hammer. That's the stuff that we need to disseminate, obviously. Because otherwise, if we don't prevent the dissemination of bad information, how are we going to get our narrative out there? This is the shtick with regard to Elon Musk and the left. It's why they're angry about Elon Musk opening up the spigots on speech, because they don't like a lot of the information that's being distributed. And again, what they're going to do now is they're going to nitpick. They're going to find the worst.
But you literally just said you didn't like the information that Elon Musk was promoting. I mean, he openly admitted it. That makes no sense. Not only did you say that it was good that Elon deleted the tweet because he was corrected, but you also stated that it was bad and wrong, and that wrong information should be corrected by other people and then deleted.
examples of people distributing information that's not true on one side of the aisle, and then they're going to pretend that everything they see is sweetness and light, and all of the information they disseminate is absolutely true. By the way, they're also going to promote the narrative that they can call Elon Musk a unique threat to democracy. Elon Musk is an evil, retrograde robber baron. They can say whatever they want about him, and that's totally fine. But if you say Nancy Pelosi should not be Speaker of the House, somebody might go hit her husband with a hammer in his house. That's the way this works. You can say whatever you want about people on the right. You can suggest, as the president has.
It's crazy that he addressed some of the misinformation going around. But for some weird reason is stopping himself from mentioning why people are saying he's a right-wing guy. Like, I don't think people are saying, or some people are. I'm not one of those people. I'm not saying that, like, that dude isn't fucking crazy. But I'm certainly stating that right-wing conspiracies, unchecked right-wing conspiracies, is what led to the mental decline of this person, who then acted out on those desires. Okay? Someone radicalized that motherfucker. That someone was Ben Shapiro and Fox News and the internet. That's it. Many people get radicalized on the internet. Some get radicalized towards the top of the hour ad break, which comes at the top of every hour. Okay? And then you realize that the way to combat towards that, the way to combat against that top of the hour ad break is by subscribing for $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime by connecting your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account, where you get one free Prime subscription a month. You can also get gifted a sub too, if you're lucky. Here's the 1 minute ad break now.
That those people are going to overthrow the country. And that's totally good. In fact, it's praiseworthy that the president of the United States says that stuff. But if you say that Nancy Pelosi is doing a bad job as Speaker, man, you never know what that might set off. And we need to curb speech to prevent messages that we don't like from getting out. Well, there's sort of a fascinating exchange on Twitter between CEO Elon Musk and the Los Angeles Lakers, LeBron James, about race.
I love the notion that, like, we're just sitting around and acting like this guy wanted to murder Nancy Pelosi because people were saying she's unfit to be the Speaker of the House. And not because, like, he thought she was drinking baby blood because of a Jewish conspiracy. Yeah. The fucking, the perp literally was like, I can't wait to kill Nancy Pelosi because she's doing a bad job. And not because of the baby blood stuff that I definitely believe in, as evidenced by my blog.
Racial slurs on the platform. So LeBron, who has in the past spread anti-Semitic nonsense of his own before retracting it, he was responding to a report in the Washington Post that claimed there had been a 500% increase in the use of the N-word on Twitter following Musk taking over. Several of the posts on 4chan encourage users to amplify derogatory slurs, the report said, suggesting the increase in the use of slurs may not have been completely organic, which the post did not mention. That's what the study said. The post did not say that. The post instead suggested that there were just a ton of people who had suddenly randomly started saying the N-word. James tweeted, I don't know Elon Musk, and to be honest,
First of all, let's pull up the LeBron James tweet.
So LeBron James is pulling an article from yahoo.com. And the article's title quite literally says, use of N-word on Twitter jumped by almost 500%
after Elon Musk takeover as trolls test limits on free speech, report says. So, like, the article title itself, of the tweet that LeBron James is posting directly contradicts what Ben Shapiro is stating. So I don't know why Ben is like acting like LeBron James is like spreading misinformation or something.
I could care less about who owns Twitter, but I will say if this is true, I hope he and his people take this very, very seriously because this is scary AF. So many damn unfit people saying hate speech is free speech. Well, I mean, technically speaking, hate speech is indeed a form of free speech because, again, things I don't like don't necessarily fall into the category of hate. And even if we all agree that they are hateful, that does not mean that they are prosecutable or that they don't fall under the category of free speech.
There you have it. There you have it. The classic defending hate speech and the double classic legality trumps morality in this conversation about changing legality. When someone says, hey man, hate speech should not be protected by free speech, you can't turn around and go, oh, well, technically hate speech is free speech and it's protected. Bitch, we know. The whole point of the conversation is not having that happen anymore. You can't just like literally say, well, it's currently the way it is. You need to back it up. Also, hate speech isn't just things I don't like. Okay? I don't like eating seafood. When someone says everyone should have seafood, or when the 700th person says you've never had seafood, oh, it's because you haven't had this kind of seafood, I don't like that. That speech I don't like. You know what that isn't? Hate speech, motherfucker. That's not hate speech. Shut the fuck up.
Speech, right? There are certain areas that don't fall under the defamation does not fall under free speech. Pornography does not fall under free speech.
Why
The
not?
problem with hate speech is
Why not? Why not? It's arbitrary. If it did, would Ben Shapiro defend it? Probably. It almost feels like a lot of this is just shit we just made up. Because ultimately, that's what laws are. We get together in a perfect society and decide certain things. That's rules. That's laws. And they're subject to interpretation and they're subject to change. So in a conversation about like why certain rules should change, you can't turn around and go, but that's the rule. Rules are rules. Because the argument I'm making does not revolve around what the rules are. I'm very aware of what the rules are. I want to change them. Okay. Now I unironically think we should ban motherfuckers still talking about seafood in the chat. Remember, there is no free speech in this chat. I will clap your ass cheeks.
vaguely defined term that can be twisted and turned and used any way by whoever cites the thing. By the way, if we were banning people for hate speech, then back when LeBron James was talking about the Jewish money, he would have been banned from social media. Musk responded to James's tweet with a statement from Yoel Roth, Twitter's head of safety and integrity, that said, nearly all of these accounts are inauthentic. We've taken action to ban the users involved in this trolling campaign. We're going to continue working to address this in the days to come to make Twitter safe and welcoming for everyone. But again, the media are going to amplify all of this because they are so all fired afraid that there might be a platform that they don't control the spigot of information to. They're terrified of all of that. It scares the living hell out of them. All right, guys.
Yeah, LeBron James is like terrified of the spigot of information control. That's what he's operating off of. And isn't just like a black dude living in America who sees trolls pumping up white supremacy and is making a plea from his larger platform to hope that like white supremacy doesn't run rampant on the fucking website that he uses from time to time. So he's like, oh man, I really want the freedom of expression to be controlled by liberal elites. LeBron James. Oh my Lord.
The rest of the show is continuing right now. We'll be getting into Elon Musk and his continuing Twitter takeover, the media attacks on Twitter, plus Democrats trying to shift their angle of attack on the midterms away from democracy and away from January 6th and more toward the economy. We'll get to that in just 1 second. If you're not a member, click the link.
So he talked about how Elon Musk got fucking owned because of the disinformation that he was spreading. But did he talk about Matt Walsh? Because I didn't really hear it. But anyway, because so many people were just like going balls to the fucking wall, including Charlie Kirk. Let's watch Charlie Kirk's last statement. The FBI released the transcripts of the interrogation that they did with Daniel DePipe. Remember a couple of months ago you read a chatter saying they were going to cancel you with a hammer? Was it the same guy? Probably not. I mean, but they come from the same circles. Anyway, threat. Like, they're the same kind of psycho, but doubtful that they're the same person. Even though that dude was a Jimmy Dore fan, so he might have eventually come across my commentary and written some shit there. If we knew what his YouTube account was, or if we knew what his fucking, Reddit account was, or if we knew what his fucking Twitch account was, we would find out, but... This is a summary of the interview. But like I said before then, I'm going to watch Charlie Kirk also spread some lies.
I mean, I'm looking at Politico.com. I'm looking at the New York Times. I'm looking at all these places, and there's a little bit of mention here. For example, Politico says top Republicans reject any link between GOP rhetoric and Paul Pelosi assault. Of course you should reject any link. Why is the Republican Party, why is the conservative movement to blame for gay schizophrenic nudists that are hemp jewelry makers breaking into somebody's home, or maybe not breaking into somebody's home? Why are we to blame for that exactly?
I mean, you're literally doing the thing. He's like doing the thing while he's laughing about it. You're to blame for it because you keep engaging in conspiracy theories. No one will check this motherfucker.
And why is he still in jail? Why has he not been bailed out? By the way, if some amazing patriot out there in San Francisco or the Bay Area wants to really be a midterm hero, someone should go and bail this guy out. I bet his bail's like $30,000 or $40,000. Bail him out and then go ask him some questions. I wonder what his bail is. They're going after him with attempted murder, political assassination, all this sort of stuff. I'm not qualifying.
Wait, is he defending the guy? That's kind of awesome. Okay, I take it back. Okay, I did not think he was going to go bananas mode and like defend the guy who tried to kill Paul Pelosi. That's kind of cool. You love to see it, folks. He's literally like, yeah, get him out of jail. Be a midterm hero. Ask him some questions, you know? They're really going after this guy.
I think it's awful. It's not right. But why is it that in
Give him another hammer.
Chicago, you're able to commit murder and be out the next day? Why is it?
Wait, what? Bro, that's not a thing. What the fuck? Dude, this is where the insanity of the cities comes from, okay? Directly from his mouth. That's why so many divorced dads with lifted pickup trucks unironically think like black teenagers in Chicago are shooting one another and then they're getting out of prison immediately for free. They deleted cash bail so that teenagers could get out of prison after shooting one another. And they're being given guns by the corrections officers because the COs who are cops are offended. That's why we need to be better to the police.
That you're able to trespass, second-degree murder, arson, threat of public official, cashless bail. This happens all over San Francisco, but if you go after the Pelosi's, oh, you're let out immediately.
What the fuck? Oh, this was pretty funny. Stop believing conspiracies. No man would rent a Honda when he has a Ferrari at home. I love this fucking tweet. I'm sorry. It's true. It's true. All right. The FBI's newly released criminal complaint against a man. Shit. Charged with attacking Pelosi features a summary of a Mirandized interview in which, per the FBI summary, the man himself essentially debunks the conspiracy theories about the incident. How did DePipe get in the house? DePipe stated that he broke into the house through a glass door, which was a difficult task that required the use of a hammer. DePipe stated that he broke into the house through a glass door. Pelosi was in bed and appeared to be surprised by DePipe. DePipe told Pelosi to wake up. DePipe told Pelosi that he was looking for Nancy. Pelosi responded that she was not present. Pelosi asked how they could resolve the situation. What a bro, Paul is kind of a pussy, dude. I'm kidding. He did the right thing. That's so terrifying. Holy shit. Motive. DePipe stated that he was going to hold Nancy hostage. DePipe articulated he viewed Nancy as the leader of the pack of lies told by the Democratic Party. DePipe also later explained that by breaking Nancy's kneecaps, she would then have to be wheeled into Congress. The Radlibs in the chat are going to be like, wow, that's really ableist, actually. Get him. Get him, Radlibs. DePipe stated that he was going to hold Nancy hostage, talk to her, and if Nancy were to tell DePipe the truth, he would let her go. And if she lied, he was going to break her kneecaps. DePipe was certain that Nancy would not have told the truth. In the course of the interview, DePipe articulated he viewed Nancy as the leader of the pack of lies told by the Democratic Party. DePipe also explained that by breaking Nancy's kneecaps, she would then have to be wheeled into Congress, which would show other members of Congress there were consequences to actions. DePipe also explained generally that he wanted to use Nancy to lure another individual to DePipe. Who opened the door? DePipe stated that they went downstairs to the front door. Police arrived and knocked on the door, and Pelosi ran over and opened it. Pelosi grabbed onto DePipe's hammer, which was in DePipe's hand. At this point in the interview, DePipe repeated that DePipe did not plan to surrender and that he would go through Pelosi. And the FBI counted the 911 call, not from DePipe. Pelosi stated the words to the effect that there is a male in the home, but the male is going to wait for Pelosi's wife. Pelosi further conveyed that he does not know who the male is. The male said his name is David. I can't believe we're like addressing all this, by the way. Anyway, none of this matters, obviously, because Republicans are either A, not going to see this, B, not going to clarify if they've already lied about their position, and D, claim that the FBI is a part of the conspiracy and in on it. So there you go. Solve the problem for you. Doesn't matter. They're not motivated by a genuine interest in what the truth is about DPP, okay? They're not. They're motivated by their anger and frustration and hatred for the Democratic Party. That's it. Her.
But we're going to begin this hour with the latest on the shocking attack on Paul Pelosi. As you know, he's the husband of House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. The suspect in the assault is expected to be formally charged later today on counts including attempted murder. Speaker Pelosi was not home at the time of this attack, but she was allegedly the target. A source tells CBS News the suspect shouted, "Where's Nancy?" at her husband Paul after allegedly breaking into their San Francisco home. Jonathan Vigliotti is following all of this in San Francisco. And we have to warn you here that the new details are still very disturbing. Jonathan, this story is still upsetting on so many levels. Good morning to you.
And good morning to you, Gail. Very
Why?
scary moments early Friday morning. According to police, a hammer was used by this suspect to carry out this attack. He was specifically targeting Nancy Pelosi when he broke into that home early Friday morning. We're told he even made his way to the second story of that home. And the Associated Press now reporting that investigators also found a bag at the scene containing zip ties.
Across of Scott and Normandy.
Inside the Pelosi home, a source tells CBS News Paul Pelosi was able to call 911 after asking his alleged attacker if he could go to the bathroom. There, he reached a police dispatcher and left his phone on, giving authorities enough information to launch a quick response.
From the time the officers got the call to the attack was minutes, less than 3 minutes, I believe.
According to San Francisco's police chief, when officers arrived, they found Pelosi and 42-year-old David DePape fighting over a hammer. DePape allegedly grabbed hold and used it to strike Pelosi in the head. Both men were rushed to San Francisco General Hospital, where a source tells CBS News Pelosi remained conscious and able to talk before undergoing surgery to correct a depressed skull fracture. DePape was treated for minor injuries. Late yesterday, the San Francisco DA confirmed the attack was targeted.
Mr. DePape was, in fact, looking for Miss Pelosi.
Yo, notice how they're saying DePape or DePape, DePeep. Let's be real, bro. It's the peepee. It's the peepee. Okay? Stop with this bullshit. They're hiding the truth. They're mispronouncing his name. They're in on it.
The other thing is we want to make it clear that there were only 2 people in the home at the time that the police arrived.
Now, you want to know the double bind? Let me give you a lock. So, because of the conspiracy theories, they now have to address this shit, right? And because of that, some of you are going to have relatives and family members that go, "See, I knew it, brother. Why are they addressing random shit like who was in the house? Seems a little confusing to me. Seems suspicious." You know they're going to be like, "Wow, the FBI leaked this? They never leak anything like this normally. What are they hiding?" Because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Mr. Pelosi and the suspect.
Sources have told CBS News and other media DePape said, "Where is Nancy?" echoing the same language used by the January 6th Capitol Hill mob after the 2020 election. The alleged attack comes days before the midterms, when some get out the vote ads have taken direct aim at the speaker. On Face the Nation, Margaret Brennan asked the chairman of the National Republican Congressional Committee, Congressman Tom Emmer, about his gun-toting ad with the hashtag Fire Pelosi.
Why is there a gun in a political ad at all?
It wasn't an ad.
Hashtag
I was
or a
tweeting
tweet.
out. I was tweeting out something that I had just
Hashtag Fire
done.
Pelosi with a weapon.
Well, now
wouldn't a pink slip be more fitting if it's about firing her? Why should you make it about the issues? Why not depersonalize it?
It is absolutely about the issues. It's about the fact.
Yeah, it's about the fact that Nancy Pelosi needs to be shot with a Thompson gun. I mean, fuck. I don't like her policies. Shit. I fucking did it again. God damn it.
That we have double-digit inflation.
Leaving the hospital, Paul Pelosi Jr. would only say this about his father's condition.
Any updates on your father?
So far, so good. So far, so good.
And according to a source, DePape has been released from the hospital this morning. He is in police custody. He is expected to be arraigned as early as tomorrow morning, Gail.
All right. We just want him to be all right. Thank you very much, Jonathan.
San Francisco DA is live talking about it right now. Breaking: Paul Pelosi attacker David DePape is an illegal alien. It's not even true. He's from Canada and is like a green card holder, no? Illegal, brother. Here's a nice little Matthew Iglesias take. I think many business executives of conservative political views is a reality we are going to have to readjust to, recognizing that the Trump era sense that this might not be the case was the illusion. Need to discover class politics without being communists about it. I love that, dude. Thanks, Matt Iglesias. What? Somewhere a white person is planning a costume tonight that's going to ruin their whole future. Okay, this one goes hard, though. I would wear that. And this. New Mario movie looking rough? Oh, God, no. Oh, Yoshi's on the roof? Wait, what? Mitt Romney, it's a me, a Mario. Enjoyed dressing up with some of the grandkids this weekend. Happy Halloween. Oh, I didn't understand it at first. Oh, no. Oh, no. That's fucked up. First of all, no one would say, oh, God, oh, no. He did that on purpose. Didn't Mitt Romney do that on purpose? By the way, that's the most fucked up, sad looking dog. You know his ass is traveling on top of the car, okay? All the time. For those of you who don't know, when Mitt Romney was running for president, obviously a lot of opposition research was made. And part of what that opposition research uncovered was the grim reality that Mitt Romney would sometimes travel with his dog, but in the worst, most insane way possible. He would put his dog in a crate outside of his car on top of his car. Yes. Something that I forgot about until this Hard Drive magazine post reminded me of. There's a Wikipedia page for it. During a 1983 family vacation, Mitt Romney drove 12 hours with his dog on top of the car in a windshield-equipped carrier. This incident became the subject of negative media attention and political attacks on Romney in both 2008 and 2012 presidential elections. Bro, can a simpler time. Like, Donald Trump could have literally turned the dog into a hot dog after that process, and motherfuckers would have been like, hey, that dog deserved it. Some dogs, they got bad vibes, brother. Animal abuse always hits home for voters, no matter what year it is. Not for Dr. Oz, it seems. That dog immigrated from Mexico. First of all, Mitt Romney immigrated from Mexico. So that doesn't even work for the Romneys, whose half of his fucking family was like, oh yeah, polyamory is under attack. We need to move to Mexico and keep doing polyamory. Not polyamory, polygamy, sorry. I made them sound woke. They were like, we need to do a polycule. Oh, that's funny. Okay. I saw the best cop / Rogan. Oh my God. Luckily, he's not arresting anybody or spreading dangerous misinformation about kitty litter.